Alrighty, everybody. Trevor here, and again, we're talking eBay today. I wanted to cover a topic that is something that most of you guys at some point or another will need to know how to do, and that's how to set up with a wholesale company, specifically some kind of a wholesale drop shipping company. Now, a lot of you guys, when you start out in our program, you're mainly working with retail drop shippers. And that just means you're working with a company that's a normal retailer, sells to the public. You're taking their products and you're reselling them for that company. That doesn't usually require any sort of agreement or application or contract. In most cases, you could just go to any retailer, resell their stuff, and do retail drop shipping. When you find a wholesale company, however, and right now isn't going to be a time where we're going to talk about how to find wholesalers. We're simply just going to be talking about how to set up with them today. So just so you understand the scope of our conversation, we'll maybe talk more about how to find wholesale type drop shippers at some other time. But I'm going to assume you found a few suppliers and you're trying to get set up with them. I want to talk about that. So I've got some examples here for you. These are just some random ones that I found. This one right here is called Edge Wholesale. I've never used them before, edgewholesale.com. It looks like they do have a drop shipping program. This one right here is called bradleycaldwell.com. And then this one right here is called fragrancenet.com. So these are just three different suppliers that I kind of randomly came across that I thought I would share with you how I would go about trying to set up some sort of an agreement with them. And when you're using a wholesale drop shipper, in most cases, you can't just hop on their site and start reselling their stuff. A lot of times you need to get on there and look for how to get registered and become an official member with them before you can start reselling their products, okay? So let me just take you through my thought process on this one. Let's just say you stumbled upon this site, okay? We're looking at Edge Wholesale, right? And here's the first thing I would do. I would just take a glance through their products and make sure it's stuff that I want to sell, okay? So you can see right here they've got categories: wine bottle holders, home decor, oil warmers, scented oils, novelties, tactical gear. It seems like they're kind of a big wholesale warehouse for a lot of different types of things. So I can click on their different products. These are home decor products. It looks like a lot of like custom signs or whatever. Dream catchers. That's kind of a home decor piece. See all the different dream catchers that are listed here. Anyway, let's say I find this and I'm like, yeah, I think I want to try this out. I'll even let's look at their tactical gear real quick. Police vests, ghillie suits. Okay. Now, interestingly, as I'm looking at their prices, it says you can buy 1 to 2 for $28, 3 to 11 for $27, 12 plus for $26 a piece. So they have an element of, it looks like these guys have an element of, if you buy in bulk, you get a better price. That shouldn't surprise you. That's common in almost anything, right? It's like, why is Costco so cheap? Well, they sell in bulk. That's just a principle of merchandising. If you buy more, you're going to get cheaper products. But in drop shipping, if it's a decent wholesaler, you can buy one at a time and still get a competitive price. Now, I'm not going to prejudge any of the pricing here. I suppose you could go and look up other similar police vests like this and see how this price is. But I don't even know if this is really going to be my wholesale price. My wholesale price, once I get registered with this company, could be much more discounted than what I'm seeing here. I don't know. I don't know enough about this company yet, so I'm kind of in research mode. I want to figure out first how to get signed up before I do anything. Now, I got to make sure they drop ship too, and I'm assuming they do because they've got this drop shipping 101 right up here at the top. I'm going to click on that and just take a peek at it. And I haven't really looked at these companies, so this is all kind of real time. I'm just going to talk you through my process here as I would think through it as if I found this site. It looks like they explain drop shipping here. It says, what do you get when you drop ship with us? We do not include invoices, and you receive tracking on every order. That's good. When you order by noon Eastern, your order will ship the same day during business days, Monday through Friday. All other orders ship the next business day. Shipping labels are marked customer service as the company name. Good. So that's called blind drop shipping. So there's not, apparently Edge isn't going to put their branding on the orders, so that's good. We do not have a minimum order, nor do we add any additional fees to drop ship directly to your customers. That's good. So no minimum order means you don't have to buy a certain amount of items at once in order to drop ship it. That's important, right? Because we're only going to want to drop ship one item at a time. We can't guarantee our customers are going to buy more than that, so that's good. It says you have the power to list hundreds of our products on your site or eBay. So they allow eBay and your website. Some suppliers out there will not allow eBay, or they won't allow Amazon. Maybe they only allow you selling on their site. So you just need to make sure when you're looking at a wholesale supplier, because they're all different and their policies are all going to be a little bit different, you need to look real closely at this stuff to see if it's going to be a good fit for you. They have a return policy here. We should familiarize ourselves with that. To save images, email us with questions, et cetera, et cetera. They have shipping information. So this is, if I were you guys, I would always just get kind of familiar with the company's policies, specifically their shipping and returns, just to get a good idea of how things are going to go. Okay. All right, let's see here. So they seem all right. So far, I can tell they definitely drop ship. It looks like they fit a lot of the criteria I would want. Now how to sign up. I'm not sure, but I'm going to look through here and see if there's anything. Oh, sign up. It's right here at the top. Not all suppliers are this easy. In fact, when you click sign up, all they want is like an email and a password, and you're set up. This I remember why I chose these guys for you guys to look at, because they are not difficult to set up with. I wanted to give you an example of one that's really easy and then a few that are difficult. There are some good suppliers that are like this. So, if you stumble on one, great. I would say the majority of wholesale suppliers require a bit more than just simply signing up and it's easy to go just like that. Okay. This is great when you find it, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's the standard. I would say, let's take a look at this fragrance.net for just a second. This will be a little more likely as to what you would find. So when I get on to fragrance.net, it looks like a normal retail site, right? Like I see 25% off any order, free shipping to the US, no minimum. I see prices listed. And as I click on products, it looks like I could actually add them to my shopping cart and check out. So a lot of you guys would say, well, how is this a wholesale supplier if they're just selling to the public? Well, wholesale drop shippers can do both. They can sell at a regular retail price to the public, and then they can distribute their product out to you to have drop shipped at discounted prices. And that's exactly what these guys do. So don't worry if you see that. You're going to notice, and this thought might come into your mind, you're going to think, oh, wait a minute, doesn't that mean I'm competing with my supplier? My supplier is selling to an end consumer, and they're going to drop ship for me to sell to an end consumer. Wouldn't we be competing for business? And you probably would, yeah. But look, remember this. The internet is a giant ocean, and this is just one fish selling, it looks like, women's makeup and perfume and beauty products. Could both of you coexist together and both be making a ton of money? Yeah, no doubt about it. It's not like you're in this microscopic niche. This is a big niche, so both of you could coexist and do just fine. So just be aware of that, I guess. Don't let that be a big concern, because sometimes that has been in the past for my clients. Okay, so how do we get signed up? How do we learn more about this specific program? Well, I don't know. We got to search for it on the site. As a general rule, I usually look up here in the top, kind of in the header portion of the site, and then I look down here in the bottom for something about wholesale or drop shipping or dealer program or retail program. Let's see here. Shipping, about us. They've got to contact us, returns. Now they've got an affiliate program, guys. Is that a drop shipping program? What is an affiliate program versus drop shipping, for those of you guys who are here with me live? I'll give you a sec. Yeah, it's referrals. So I could sign up for their affiliate program, and if I refer a person to their site that buys, then I would make money. Drop shipping is different because we're looking to get the product at a wholesale price. And as I look here, they do have a wholesale information section, so I'm going to click on that. Okay, so here we are. It says wholesale. To contact our wholesale division or learn more about dropship services, click here to fill out our wholesale application. Click here to fill out our RSY resale certificate. Then they've got a phone number and some contact information here. Let me say this. Don't be afraid to contact your potential supplier to ask them questions about how to get set up or about their application, because sometimes there's going to be things on their application that are a little bit confusing that you're not going to know what to do. In fact, when I was looking at this earlier, I couldn't tell, do I have to do both of these? Do I have to do their wholesale application and their NYS resale certificate? When I clicked on their NYS retail certificate, it looks like something specifically for people in the state of New York. And the best of my knowledge, as I looked at it, I was like, well, I don't know if I need to fill that out because I'm not from New York. But maybe I do need to fill it out because maybe that's something all of their retailers have to fill out. I don't really know, to be honest. And so I'm going to contact them, shoot them an email, or get somebody on the phone and just say, hey, you know, I'm looking at your wholesale application. I just had a couple of questions about what's on it. Who can I talk to about that? And I would have them transfer me to somebody who could talk me through a few questions about getting set up in their dropship program. Don't be afraid to ask, and don't be afraid if you feel like you're new or you've never done it before. You got to start somewhere, right? These people aren't overly picky about you on the phone or anything. They want you to sell their product as much as you do. So don't be bashful. Feel comfortable calling them and asking them. Or if you don't really want to talk to them on the phone, shooting them an email would be just fine. I've always told my clients too, while you're talking to them, if you ask them a question or they ask you a question that you're unsure of how to answer, you can say something like, you know what, I'm not sure how to answer that, but let me reach out to my business partner, and I'd love to get back to you on that. In which case, you know, hang up the phone and email your coach or call your coach and find out from them what to say, because I can't, in the space of a short period of time like this, I can't say for sure all the different nuances that are going to come up in these applications, but I'm going to give you some good general advice that should work for most of this. Okay, so here, I don't know if I'm supposed to fill this out or not, but I would probably contact them. Okay, now let me go back to their form again. Here's their wholesale application. I'm going to click on that and kind of show you guys what this looks like. It says, in order to log in, you must obtain a username and password. Please fill out and submit the form below. If you are not a reseller of fragrances and you are looking for our retail website, click here. Okay, so that's not going to apply. If you have any questions, contact us. So there's a bunch of information. There's a wholesale email account that I could email them. New wholesale customer application. To obtain a username and password, please fill out and submit the form below, and we will contact you within 24 hours, excluding weekends. Okay, easy enough. First name, last name, company. You'll notice that's not starred. But if you have a company like a registered LLC name or something, it would go there. Street address, city, state, etc., country, phone number, email, fax if applicable. You'll notice that company URL, what are they saying there? What does company URL mean, guys? Yeah, website, right? Company URL is just a fancy way of saying website. Now notice that's not starred. I don't think that's required. I don't know if these guys allow eBay sales, but I would assume yes, because it looks like this field is not required. So you don't have to have your website done or ready, or even a domain name before you fill out that application. Resale or seller permit. What's that, guys? What's a reseller permit? It's something we actually discussed in a previous webinar. In fact, on my YouTube page here, let me find what I think you guys will need to see if you don't have a reseller permit. How many of you guys here have a reseller permit or know what that is? Ah, here it is. It is state specific, Jeff. Yep. I show you how to get it in this video right here. I'm going to send this link out to all of you guys who are here with me live. There you go. There's the link out to that video, and I'll put that in the comment section of the recording. So look down below in the comments, and you'll see a link for this. Legal business setup for a new internet business is what this is. That will show you how to get a reseller permit. It seems to me that fragrance.net requires that. So you're going to need to have that done. It says filling in your tax ID number will expedite the processing of your application. Now they've also got some required documents right here. It says please upload proof of company documentation, proof of your retail business license certificate with company name. That's what this is. Seller's permit number, tax ID, VAT, ABN. This would be like, I think that could include your EIN number, right? Your federal tax ID number. So it sounds like you need a state number and a federal number to work with these guys. Proof of registered business address with company name. Okay. That says for storefront only, which would mean that's not really required if you're just a web business. 2 megabyte limit on upload. Anything larger, please send to wholesale@fragrance.net.com. Okay. So you can see this is about as robust as it gets, guys. Like if you were setting up with these guys, they're requiring not only your name, address, phone number, email, but they want to see your state reseller permit and your federal tax ID. Now, why is that, guys? Why does this supplier need to see that information? Why do you think they're requiring that? There's probably several reasons, but what's the point? Why would you require those kind of numbers if you were somebody looking to sell dropship products? Yeah, Jeff, I would agree with you exactly. It's to justify that you're actually a reseller. Like what they're not interested in doing is getting in the business of their normal customers coming here and getting everything heavily discounted that are just normal customers that are buying for themselves. They want to make sure you're an actual business. That way, if you're going to come and order from them, they're confident that you're not just ordering products for yourself at a discounted price. They want to make sure you're legit too, and probably for tax reasons. One of you guys said taxes. Who said that? Robert. Yeah, I agree. For tax reasons, I think legally, in order to do this, to be a drop shipper, I think they have to ask for some of this information. However, not all companies do, and so just know this is a little bit more of a, this is more common that they're a little more difficult to set up like this. But if you have a supplier that doesn't require all this other stuff, that doesn't mean they're not a good supplier, nor does it mean that these guys are a great supplier. It just means that they require a little bit more. Okay. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I am interested in seeing you guys all at one point or another not just do retail drop shipping. You should have a diverse business when you're on the internet. You should do some retail drop shipping. You should do some wholesale drop shipping. You should go out there and work with these type of companies that are a little more exclusive, which means you also need to make sure you've got some of this legal tax information, a state reseller license, and a federal tax ID number. And that's why I sent you guys out that email. If you don't have that information, consider getting it. It's not hard to get. You just need to know how to do it. And that's the training I sent out to you guys here just a minute ago. Oliver, your tax ID is a little different from your Social Security number. I think in some cases your Social Security number can take the place of the tax ID, but I prefer not to use my social. A tax ID is kind of like your business's social, and it'll mask your own. So you want to get it that way. You're not sending out your Social Security number to people that you don't know. And it just, again, it legitimizes you a little bit. So you'll definitely want to get one of those tax IDs. Okay. But again, the scope of the video today, and John, I saw your question earlier. You said, hey, how did you come across these? In short, I stumbled upon them on the internet while I was browsing around looking for wholesalers and drop shippers. I can go into some detail on how we go about finding those in another training. But as for right now, I'm kind of assuming, because I've gotten this question a lot, how do I set up with suppliers? What do I do? That's what I'm trying to explain right now. And if you get onto a site and you're not sure, they don't have stuff that's so clear, like you can't find an application on the site, you don't really know if they drop ship or not, because some suppliers don't advertise that on their site. Maybe they just say that they're a wholesaler and you would have to contact them to find out about drop shipping. Just don't be bashful. That's the last piece of advice I'll leave you with, is you should be contacting these companies in bulk and sending out lots of contacts and asking them, what their program is like. And if you don't see anything like this on their site, you should email them asking them what kind of an application is involved. If I came to a website that looked like stuff that I wanted to get drop shipped and it looked like they were a wholesaler, but I couldn't find any information on their site in the header or the footer, just like we did a minute ago, I would find a contact page and I would email them and I would say something like, hey, we found your site. We really like your product. It would be something that we would definitely be interested in reselling on either eBay, Amazon, or on our own website. Do you have an application for that? Is drop shipping something you do? You could ask some basic questions like that and have them get back to you. It's not always so clear, cut, and dry like it is right here. Although this is kind of a busier, heavier application, not all companies have even this kind of application online. So sometimes you have to contact them first. Okay. But it's really hard for me to sit here for a few minutes like this and tell you all the different nuances that you're going to come up against when you try to contact suppliers, because each one of these companies is going to be independent. They're going to have different returns policies. They're going to have different shipping policies. They may or may not sell to the public. They may have a different application, some more stringent than others. It's hard for me to really comment on all that. The idea behind today's call is just to help you guys see that there are different ones out there and give you guys some skills here to be able to set up with them. Okay. If you can't get set up or you're really stuck at some point, then we'd like you to contact your coach for some help. Okay. Okay, good. I'm going to open it up for just questions for just a few minutes, and then we'll finish up, and we'll reconvene on Friday again of next week. Let me know if you guys have any questions about what we talked about here. We didn't get over here into Bradley Caldwell, just because it's kind of the same situation. If you see on this side, I know this site's kind of small, so let me zoom in just a little bit. I looked on their site, and they have a dealer vendor registration. And you could come in here and you could select register to become a dealer. And then they've got this list of things. Same type of stuff. Business name, they want a reseller permit or a tax ID. They've got some information about the program. Anyway, so you can leave them some comments here. Now, one last piece of advice before everybody goes. If you contact a supplier or you fill out an application and they don't get right back to you, give them a few days. Give them 3 or 4 days. If they still don't get back to you, send them another message. And if they don't get back to you after that, maybe one more time, send them a message. You want to be pretty proactive with these companies because they probably get quite a few people who are inquiring about their program. And also, I guess as I've worked with clients over the years, I've had a few that get stuck on the fact that, their suppliers that they have access to aren't everything that they ever dreamed their first supplier would be. Maybe they've got holes in their inventory, or their prices are a little higher than they would have liked, or their website just doesn't look very good, or their product images just aren't the best. And they're not thrilled with their suppliers that are available to you or to them at the time. My advice to you is that you need to remember that you're still a startup, and getting access to the very best suppliers that are on the market will come as you earn the right to use some of those better suppliers. If you can find some decent wholesale suppliers that are willing to work with a startup like you who has no credentials, often no website, often no experience or background in this, you should be grateful that there's a company out there that's willing to be your starting company, your starting supplier. And I can guarantee you, if you get the business off the ground and you start to pull rankings in Google and you start to do better and better online, you will have suppliers then come and contact you, hoping to work with you and get their products on your site or on your eBay store. It's like the roles reverse. The power comes into your end of the court, and you're the one who calls the shots. Right now, you're the business out there just trying to find somebody to partner with, but that changes. So just please remember that. The example I always give is the one of Walmart, where I remember learning about this in college. They talked about how Walmart, when they first began, they had some vendors and they got their start, and Walmart grew and grew and grew to the point where anybody who owns a product or has some sort of an invention or something that they want to move on a mass scale would like to get their product in on Walmart shelves. And Walmart is happy to bring on new business, but what they do is they sit you down and they if I'm somebody who's got this product that I want to mass distribute through Walmart, they work me down on my price. They force me to meet their shipping requirements. They force me to do a certain amount of volume. I have to basically comply with all of these things to get my product on the shelves of Walmart. And people do it, right? Because they want to get on into Walmart, because if they can do that, they're going to move a lot of product. So that wasn't always the case with Walmart, but since they become so large and so dominant, they're able to control their suppliers, and their suppliers don't control them. So I tell you that not because that's what I think is going to happen to you guys, but I think on a smaller scale, if you're a newer company trying to make your start online, it's a little difficult because you don't have that experience, but you'll get access to better suppliers as you go along. And that's the point I wanted to make. Okay. All right. So I'll answer a couple of questions and then we'll finish up. Let's see here. Breaky, you say once set up with drop shippers and their products start selling on my site, what is the general rule as to when they require payment for me for products sold? Right away, usually. Unless you set up some sort of terms, some sort of net terms with your supplier. Most suppliers, when you need them to ship out an order, they expect payment up front for that. So you'll pay them with a card and then they'll ship it out. Some of them you can apply for credit, and they'll give you a line of credit, 2, 3, 4, 5 grand, and you can sell off of that line of credit, meaning you'll just send them invoices and they'll just ship product out, and then once a month you write them a big check for all the product that they sent out. But they run background checks and credit checks and just make sure that you're going to be good to work with it, because it is like getting a loan. I would say most of the drop shippers you guys work with are going to require immediate payment right up front. Robert says, is it true some sellers require minimum amount of sales or fees? Yeah, some suppliers will. we didn't even get into that, but some will require like an application fee. Some have what's called a dropship fee, which is where they charge you a small amount per individual dropship order on top of their normal wholesale price. Some require like an annual membership. So it just depends on the supplier. You just need to work with your coach to decide if that's worth it or not. Oh, good. Congratulations, Gail. Gail got accepted to one of her suppliers today. So good. Good for you. Good, good, good. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead and finish up. Thanks for being here on a Friday. We will see you guys all next time. If you have any further questions, feel free to contact your coach, and we can follow up on some of this stuff next time if you guys have more questions. Okay. All right. Thanks for coming, guys. See you soon.